Hello, everyone. I'm Quinn. It's great to see you again in Chill English, the place where you can conquer English in an easier and more enjoyable way. Today, I want to explore grammar with you in a way you've probably never tried before. No pressure, no heaviness, but rather a light discovery, like taking a walk and suddenly stumbling upon something interesting. You'll see that grammar is no longer a book full of formulas and hard-to-remember rules, but a key that opens the door to communication. In this podcast, I'll be speaking slowly and clearly, using familiar and friendly words so you'll feel as if you're chatting with a companion. And the wonderful thing is, you're not alone. There are many people just like you, wearing headphones, sitting in a coffee shop in the morning, sipping a latte while listening to these words. Others may be walking under the trees or sitting on a crowded bus in the afternoon. Some choose a quiet moment in their bedroom to listen. Wherever you are, whatever the situation, you're joining a larger learning space where everyone shares the same goal: to master English in a more natural way. And I'm truly glad you're here, in this very moment, taking the first steps with me. Now let's start with a simple question. What is grammar? If you see grammar only as a set of rules, it feels very dry. But think differently. Grammar is like the background music in a movie. You might not notice every note, but it creates the emotion, making the story smooth and connected. When learning grammar, what you really need is not just memorizing rules, but feeling the rhythm of the language. Strange, isn't it? You may not know the name of the tense or the formula, but when you hear a sentence, you still sense, yes, that sounds right, or, that sounds odd. That's your ear recognizing patterns in the language. The more you're exposed to it, the clearer those hidden rules become in your mind, without the need for rote memorization. Still, we all know that grammar is a nightmare for many English learners. You're not the only one who has found it difficult. Millions of others have also felt tired, confused, or even helpless trying to remember too many rules. And the truth is, it's not your fault. The problem lies in how grammar is often taught. Heavy on memorization, light on practice, too much theory, not enough experience. Imagine trying to learn swimming by just sitting on the shore while the coach explains. Move your arms like this, kick your legs like that, breathe in this rhythm. But if you never get in the water, you'll never really swim. Grammar works the same way. You can memorize dozens of pages of notes, but if you don't use them, don't listen, don't speak, they'll just sit quietly in your head. And that's why many people face the situation where the brain knows, but the mouth can't say it. When you want to express a simple sentence, you start asking yourself, what tense is this? Do I need an S? Should I use do or does, or change it to the past? While you're still searching for the answer, the chance to speak has already passed. That makes you frustrated, lose confidence, and think you're bad at English. But in reality, you just haven't practiced the right way yet. Language is not just memory. It's the harmony of the brain, the ear, the mouth, and emotions. To master grammar, you need all of them to work together. Listen a lot so your ears get used to it. Try speaking so your mouth gets used to it. Feel the emotions in each sentence so your brain connects it to real experiences. It's just like learning to ride a bike. At first you wobble, you fall again and again. But once your body gets used to balance, you don't even think about it anymore. Your feet pedal and your hands steer naturally. The most important thing is this. You don't need to know every single rule in order to communicate. You don't have to speak perfectly. You don't have to speak lightning fast. What you need is to move slowly, steadily, step by step. Grammar is not a 100-meter sprint. It's a long journey. Each small step, if done right, will lead you to confidence. Think of grammar like playing with Lego. You can't build an entire castle in one session. You start with a few small pieces, connect them together, and gradually add more layers, more details. Bit by bit, your creation takes shape. But if you try to grab 1,000 Lego pieces at once and put them together in one go, all you'll see is chaos. Grammar works the same way. It needs patience, care, and steady steps. So instead of trying to learn all the tenses in a single week, pick one small, simple point. For example, spend the whole week focusing only on the phrase, "can you?" for making requests. Use it when asking a friend to open the door, when asking for directions, when asking a colleague. After a few days, you'll find that the sentence comes out naturally without thinking. And from those small pieces, your grammar house will gradually become stronger. Start by listening a lot. Podcasts are a great choice, especially ones with familiar and easy-to-understand content, like life stories, personal experiences, or short interviews. You can also watch real-life videos, conversations on social media, or even daily vlogs. When listening, don't just focus on vocabulary. Pay attention to how native speakers actually use grammar in real sentences. We often think grammar only exists in books, but in reality it lives in every greeting, every question, every natural reply of an English speaker. After listening, move on to small practice steps. Don't try to write long paragraphs right away. Instead, begin with short sentences. For example, if you hear the structure, "I've just finished," try writing a few similar sentences, then read them aloud. You can tell yourself, "I've just finished my coffee," or "I've just finished reading a page." When you say it and hear your own voice, you're helping your brain create a strong connection between grammar and personal experience. This is how you turn dry knowledge into a natural part of your speech. The key is repetition. Repetition is like carving into stone. The more patient you are, the clearer the mark becomes. If you listen only once and then move on, grammar will slip away quickly. But if you keep coming back, using it, experimenting with it, it will turn into reflex. Don't be afraid of mistakes. In fact, mistakes are proof that you're learning. Every time you stumble, your brain adjusts, remembers, and grows stronger. Language is not a test. It's a journey of discovery. When you learn slowly, you learn deeply. Slow doesn't mean delay. It means giving your brain enough time to truly digest grammar. You no longer feel pressured to race against time or compare yourself to others. Instead, you feel light, relaxed, and even begin to enjoy the process. And in that comfortable state, grammar naturally sinks into your memory. You don't need to constantly open a book or check your notes. When the moment comes, you just speak, and the structures flow out naturally. Imagine this. Instead of studying grammar like memorizing math formulas, you learn it as a daily habit. Just like brushing your teeth in the morning, you don't overthink each step, yet you still do it correctly. Grammar works the same way. If you live with it long enough, it comes out naturally without force. That's the difference between memorizing and truly mastering. So what does it mean to learn grammar naturally? It means learning the way it happens in real life, not just on the pages of a book, but in sounds, emotions, and connections. Children are the clearest example. They don't study by reading rules. They listen, they imitate, they make mistakes, they correct, and they repeat. After thousands of times, their brains figure out the rules on their own. And one day, they speak fluently without ever memorizing a formula. As adults, we can use books and theory to save time, but the core principle is the same. We must be exposed to grammar in real, living contexts. You'll learn faster when grammar is tied to meaning, emotions, and real situations. For example, when you hear someone say, "I'm looking forward to meeting you," you're not just hearing a grammar structure, you're feeling the anticipation, the politeness, and the joy in that sentence. In that moment, grammar is no longer dry text, but a tool to express genuine feelings. To nurture this approach, start with a simple habit. Listen for at least 10 minutes every day. It could be on your way to work, while cooking, or while relaxing. You don't have to understand everything immediately. Your brain is still absorbing little by little. Then notice repeated phrases. If you hear someone say, "You know what I mean?" often remember it and try using it yourself. These familiar patterns will become the framework of your communication. Once you get used to it, challenge yourself. Pick one small grammar pattern and apply it in daily life. For example, today you focus on the present perfect. Each time you finish something, say, "I've finished my work." "I've cleaned the room." "I've checked my email." Each sentence is a brick, and slowly you're building a strong foundation. Most importantly, don't be afraid of mistakes. Mistakes don't make you weaker. They're proof that you're using the language. Only by practicing, failing, fixing, and trying again can you grow. And don't force yourself to use complex structures just to sound cool. Start with what you really know. From that simplicity comes confidence. And from confidence comes fluency. One of the biggest obstacles English learners face is a lack of confidence. You may know a lot of grammar, remember plenty of vocabulary, and even read fairly well. But when it's time to speak, fear holds you back. You worry about being wrong, about being laughed at, about not being understood. So you stay silent, even though the full sentence is ready in your mind. This is completely normal. Remember, you're not alone. Many language learners go through this phase. Even native speakers feel the same anxiety when learning a foreign language. Confidence doesn't come from knowing everything. It comes from accepting imperfection and speaking anyway. A useful way to build confidence is to start with small wins. For example, tell yourself, "Today, I'll just say one greeting in English to my colleague." Or, "I'll ask one simple question in class." When you succeed, praise yourself. Don't dismiss it as something small. These wins add up, creating the feeling that you're moving the right direction. Also, make mistakes your companion. If you say "he go" instead of "he goes," just smile and keep going. Mistakes don't mean failure. They show that you're practicing. Think of a child learning to walk. They fall dozens of times, but never stop trying. If every fall were failure, no one would ever walk. With language, mistakes are the steps toward success. Another tip to boost confidence is to shift your focus from perfection to communication. Ask yourself, What's my goal? It's to be understood, not to score points on a test. If you say, yesterday I go to the park, people still understand what you mean, even though the grammar isn't perfect. The message is delivered, and that's what matters. Once you start thinking this way, the pressure of speaking 100% correctly fades, and you'll feel much more relaxed. To practice, try a small daily routine. Say a few sentences out loud in English, even if it's just to yourself. For example, after drinking water, say, I'm drinking water. When you're about to go out, say, I'm going to the market. The more you hear your own voice in English, the more comfortable you'll feel, and the less anxious you'll be when talking to others. Also, create a safe environment for practice. It could be a group of friends learning together where everyone feels free to make mistakes without judgment. Or it could be an app with AI conversation practice where you can try speaking without fear of embarrassment. The more you practice in low-pressure settings, the more confident you'll be in real situations. Each time you dare to speak, even just one sentence, you take a step forward. It's like exercising. The first day you lift weights, you don't see muscles right away. But after hundreds of repetitions, the changes become clear. With English, confidence is trained the same way, day by day. Remember, confidence is not, I'll speak perfectly, then I'll dare to speak. True confidence is, I'll speak even if I know I'll make mistakes. Every time you open your mouth, you move forward. And each small step, each mistake, each imperfect sentence, all of them build the more confident version of you in the future. You don't need speed. You don't need perfection. What you need is patience, self-acceptance, and joy in each step of learning. English is not an exam. It's a bridge that connects you to the world. And every day as you take one small step across that bridge, you get closer to freedom in communication. So keep going. Listen, speak, repeat. Give yourself the right to make mistakes, the right to learn, and the right to enjoy the journey. Thank you for joining me in this episode. This is Chill English, and I'm Quinn. Keep learning, keep speaking, and trust that you are improving every single day. See you in the next episode, where we'll continue unlocking more secrets to make English a natural part of your life.